Battle Through the Heavens, Episode 186. Xiao erases the human hall and claims the Sea Heart Flame. Episode 186 hits like a thunderclap. Xiao launches a full-scale assault on the Soul Hall's human hall, and by the end of the episode, that infamous branch is nothing but rubble and ash. What makes the victory even more shocking is that Xiao doesn't just destroy the enemy stronghold he walks away with, a heavenly flame, the Sea Heart Flame. With Ziyan's backing, a 4-star Daosheng of the ancient Void Dragon tribe, Xiao charges straight into the Soul Hall's branch stronghold, cutting through resistance with terrifying momentum. The battle escalates quickly, and Xiao personally slays the Great Heavenly Venerable, a mid-stage 2-star Daosheng. From him, Xiao seizes the Sea Heart Flame, turning the Soul Hall's own treasure into the Tianfu Alliance's greatest gain. But the fight isn't over. The true pillar of the human hall is the Deputy Hall Master, and the moment he realizes the tide has turned, he doesn't gamble on pride or revenge. He makes the most dangerous decision possible. He tears open space and escapes immediately. The speed and decisiveness of his retreat catches everyone off guard, and Xiao is unable to stop him in time. Xiao knows exactly what that means. This Deputy Hall Master is a late-stage 3-star Daoshen, a realm far beyond the Great Heavenly Venerable. If Ziyan hadn't been present, this would have turned into an unimaginably brutal fight. Even with her strength, stopping someone at that level who is fully determined to flee, especially one who refuses to test the waters, is nearly impossible. Even so, Xiao doesn't dwell on it. The Tianfu Alliance and the Soul Hall have already become irreconcilable enemies. Not long ago, the Alliance suffered a savage assault from the Soul Hall. Now, wiping out the human hall is not only retaliation, it's a declaration to the entire Central Plains that the Tianfu Alliance is no longer something others can strike without consequence. The operation yields enormous results. The Great Heavenly Venerable is killed, the Sea Heart Flame is obtained, and one of the Soul Hall's most important branch halls is completely erased. Xiao immediately orders Ziyan to finish the cleanup hunt down the remaining Soul Hall forces who are still being pursued by Little Dr. Fairy and Qing Lin, and leave no survivors. At the same time, he warns her to keep watch on Guyu Saint, who is battling Yao Lao, to ensure that Old Ghost doesn't slip away as well. Ziyan moves with crushing dominance. The remaining Soul Hall experts are wiped out almost instantly. On the other battlefield, Guyu Saint is already losing ground. Once Ziyan joins in, the fight ends quickly, and he is subdued. With the battlefield secured, Xiao turns his attention to the massive palace below. One swing of the heavy Xuan ruler sends a colossal flame slash, tearing the structure apart, and what it reveals is horrifying. Inside, countless pitch-black chains web through the darkness, and at their ends are tens of thousands of imprisoned soul light clusters. These souls have been shackled like livestock, used as nothing more than nutrients for the Soul Hall's cultivation methods. Fury rises in Xiao chest. Without hesitation, he shatters every chain and frees the imprisoned souls. The liberated spirits, overwhelmed, express their gratitude before fleeing this hell that held them captive for countless years. Just as Xiao prepares to leave, he senses an abnormal fluctuation deeper within the ruins. Digging through the wreckage, he discovers a transparent sphere of light about half a jang in size. Chains extend from its surface, still linked to the escaping souls, and within it pulses an immense, pure soul fluctuation. At that moment, Yao Lao arrives, having finished dealing with Guyu Saint. His expression is complicated as he identifies the object, soul origin essence, the foundational energy from which souls are born, one of the purest forces between heaven and earth. This single sphere has been condensed from the extracted essence of at least 1 million souls. It is the human hall's greatest achievement over the past century, and the clearest evidence of the Soul Hall's cruelty. The Deputy Hall Master fled so suddenly that he even left this behind. Disgusted, Yao Lao speculates that the Soul Hall has been gathering such an ocean of soul origin essence for one reason: to push someone's soul power toward the legendary Emperor realm. Even if soul cultivation alone doesn't make one a doodee for top-tier experts, it would still be a monstrous advantage. Yao Lao also recalls that when he was imprisoned, the Soul Hall tried to recruit him, likely because they needed his alchemy skills for some hidden purpose tied to this very essence. Everything points to the Hun clan weaving a terrifying conspiracy in the shadows. Facing this sphere built from countless tragedies, Yao Lao advises Xiaoyan to take it and refine it. Xiaoyan's soul realm is already at the late-stage heavenly realm. If he absorbs this, he could reach heavenly realm great perfection, a leap so rare that it can be counted on one hand across the entire continent and a crucial advantage for the coming battle over the purifying demonic lotus flame. Xiaoyan doesn't hesitate. He stores the sphere away and quietly promises that he will avenge the souls that were harmed. That vow seems to stir the faint remaining consciousness within the sphere, the resentment and unwillingness sealed. Inside it begin to fade. Xiaoyan casts one last look at the blood-soaked ruins littered with corpses. His expression is calm and his heart is unmoved. For the Soul Hall's lackeys who served evil, he feels no pity. Remembering how the Xiao clan was nearly annihilated in the past, today's massacre feels like nothing less than justice. Not long after Xiaoyan and the others leave Space Ripples again, the Deputy Hall Master secretly returns, and the moment he sees the emptied ruins, his face turns deathly pale. The soul origin essence is gone. The imprisoned souls have been freed. 100 years of harvest has been stolen in a single night. The loss is catastrophic, and he knows punishment awaits him when he returns. He regrets it now, regrets not taking Xiaoyan the ant from the past seriously enough. That ant has grown into a threat that even the Soul Hall can no longer ignore. But then he remembers what is coming soon, the emergence of the purifying demonic lotus flame. The Hallmaster and the clan will go all out to seize it. If they obtain that flame, they can compensate for this loss and accelerate the Hun clan's grand plan. And when the restraints finally fall away, they will deploy overwhelming forces to erase Xiaoyan and the Tianfu alliance completely. Before leaving, he mutters a vow dripping with malice. The Hun clan always repays grudges in full. The destruction of the Human Hall will be avenged tenfold. News of the Human Hall's destruction explodes across the Central Plains like a storm. The Soul Hall has long been a terrifying behemoth, so feared that even the Pill Tower has suffered against it. Countless forces have been victimized and forced into silence. Yet now the newly risen Tianfu alliance has destroyed one of the 3 heavenly gang halls. It is an earth-shaking feat that forces the entire Central Plains to acknowledge the alliance's strength. While the outside world trembles with shock, Xiaoyan has already begun refining the soul origin essence. Before him, the crystal-clear sphere radiates a gentle, pure glow. Xiaoyan knows that advancing from late-stage heavenly realm to great perfection would be a qualitative transformation, one that places him dangerously close to the legendary Emperor realm. He exhales heavenly flame fused with the sea heart flame and begins carefully scorching the sphere. Under the intense heat, strands of faint black energy are forced out, sinister residual will planted by Soul Hall experts. Absorbing it would have brought endless disaster. Xiaoyan refines the impurities, completely leaving the sphere purer than ever. Then he gathers his soul power, forming a phantom figure identical to himself. Sitting cross-legged before the sphere, he begins to absorb the vast, pristine soul origin essence. The energy pours into him like an endless tide. As it continues, a crystalline luster spreads across his soul body, making it increasingly solid, real, and powerful, as if his spirit is being reforged. After all, this is not ordinary energy. It is the condensed essence of over 1 million souls, harvested across 100 years. And now it belongs to Xiaoyan. Even for Xiaoyan, standing before such overwhelming power, he couldn't help but feel a fleeting sense of insignificance. As the absorption continued, invisible layers of soul pressure began to ripple outward, with Xiaoyan at the center. Wherever the fluctuations passed, the mountains and forests fell into absolute silence. All living beings, no matter how strong, felt an irresistible force pressing down from the depths of their souls. One after another, they dropped to the ground, trembling, not daring to move. The disturbance quickly alarmed the experts of Falling Star Pavilion. Yet the moment they tried to approach the mountain where Xiaoyan was cultivating, many became dizzy from over 1,000 zhang away. Their doqi faltered, their flight wavered, and they were forced to retreat in shock. It wasn't ordinary pressure, it was pure soul suppression, the kind that made everyone understand with chilling clarity just how terrifying Xiaoyan's current level truly was. Soon, Yao Lao, the great elder of the Little Pill Tower, and several top figures appeared in the sky, gazing toward the mist-covered peak with solemn expressions. Yao Lao's heart brimmed with pride. His disciples' achievements had long since surpassed his own. The great elder of the Little Pill Tower let out a sigh. how hard it is to reach Heavenly Realm great perfection. I've been trapped at late-stage Heavenly Realm for more than 100 years, yet Xiaoyan is about to step into it. With the purifying demonic lotus flame on the verge of emerging and the soul hall growing increasingly active. Honorable. Feng urged everyone to prepare in advance. Yao Lao, however, was unwavering. He believed Xiaoyan would finish on time and ordered 1,000 jang perimeter around the cultivation mountain to be completely sealed off. Days passed. The soul pressure saturating the star region did not weaken, it grew heavier. After a full month, the entire star region was blanketed in oppressive force. Many disciples could no longer fly and were forced to move on foot, enduring soul pressure that felt like mountains on their backs. Complaints rose at first, loud and constant, but gradually something unexpected happened. Some disciples realized that under this prolonged high-intensity pressure, their own soul power was being tempered. Their spiritual strength rose noticeably. And since stronger soul power directly benefited cultivation, what began as suffering turned into opportunity. Once the disciples tasted the results, not only did the complaints vanish more and more, people began treating the pressure as an extraordinary form of training. They started walking step by grinding step toward Xiaoyan's mountain, deliberately moving against the crushing soul tide. In this self-imposed tempering, many experienced rapid growth. Even better, during Xiaoyan's refinement, he maintained delicate control of the soul origin essence, allowing faint traces of its pure energy to drift through the air. If a disciple absorbed even a single wisp, it was like swallowing a divine pill that strengthened the soul. Before long, even some elders joined the strange cultivation procession. The star region became swept up in a wave of relentless training, bitter, exhausting, and yet undeniably beneficial. Yao Lao and the others could only laugh helplessly. Still, it was a rare chance to raise the overall foundation of Falling Star Pavilion. After more than 50 days, the pressure finally began to ease. Yao Lao and the others understood immediately Xiaoyan was nearing the end. At the summit before Xiaoyan's crystal-like soul form, the once massive sphere of soul origin essence had shrunk until it was no larger than half a head. And when that final portion was swallowed whole, everything changed. A fluctuation erupted like a volcano dormant for 10,000 years, blasting outward from Xiaoyan's center. Dark clouds gathered instantly. Thunder roared. Lightning tore across the sky. Heaven and earth phenomena formed under the weight of his soul power alone. Above the main pavilion, everyone was shaken. The great elder of the Little Pill Tower judged that based on soul power alone, Xiaoyan could now contend with the two-star Dao Sheng. Yao Lao spoke with awe at the profundity of Heavenly Realm. Great perfection at this level. The soul is almost corporeal, exceptionally solid. It can fight independently, and when combined with the physical body, its power multiplies. It is completely incomparable to late-stage Heavenly Realm. It's like gaining another combat partner, one perfectly aligned with your will, equal in strength. At that moment, Xiaoyan's perception underwent a world-shaking transformation. With a single thought, invisible soul waves spread out like flowing mercury, covering the entire star region. More than that, he could faintly sense people's subtle emotions and inner thoughts within the range, almost like a mystical form of mind insight. He pushed farther. His soul fluctuations surged across thousands, then tens of thousands of miles at terrifying speed. Along the way, he brushed against hidden expert souls and finally understood just how deep the central plains truly were crouching. Tigers, hidden dragons everywhere. Then, just as he was about to retract his soul power, a sudden burning sensation flared deep within his soul. Xiaoyan immediately followed it. His soul crossed tens of thousands of miles and arrived above a vast mountain range where space twisted unnaturally. A faint milky white light seeped from the distortion. The instant his soul touched that light, a sharp, searing pain stabbed through him. He froze in shock. He possessed 5 heavenly flames. Ordinary fire could never hurt him like this. At the same time, the dormant ancient map light cluster connected to the purifying demonic lotus flame began vibrating violently inside his mind. The answer became undeniable. This was the place where the purifying demonic lotus flame was about to emerge. But before Xiaoyan could even steady himself, a vast soul power no weaker than his own suddenly burst from deep within the twisted space and slammed into his soul. Waves. The ambush came without warning. Xiaoyan's soul body trembled violently. Dizziness crashed over him like a wave. Furious, he sent a soul message demanding the intruder's identity. To injure him like this, the other party's soul realm was also heavenly realm great perfection. A voice without emotion echoed from the void. It didn't answer his question. Instead, it calmly identified him, reciting his actions as if reading a record, how he devoured the human hall's soul origin essence, how he repeatedly struck the soul hall, and how his defiance resembled Xiao Xuan of the Xiao clan long ago. Xiao Yan's soul fluctuated violently. Within the soul hall, only one person could possess soul power this terrifying: the mysterious hall master of the soul hall. The emotionless voice continued. The plan had been to move only after the purifying demonic lotus flame emerged. But since Xiao Yan had proactively quataned this place, it would act early, capture him, and drag him back to the soul hall. Cold malice seeped through every word, resentment that Xiao Yan dared consume what the soul hall had collected. As the voice faded, Xiao Yan felt space around him solidify. Even the circulation of his soul became sluggish, as though trapped in frozen mud. A cold judgment rang out, mocking the gap between his soul power and his physical cultivation. Then, a gigantic hand of dark energy condensed in mid-air, vast enough to blot out the heavens, and clawed straight toward Xiao Yan's soul. At the critical moment, another aged voice rang out, calm, disdainful, scolding the hall master for bullying the young. An equally massive energy palm appeared out of nowhere and slammed into the dark giant hand. The collision of two supreme soul powers triggered a terrifying storm, instantly shattering the spatial lockdown. A cold shout echoed. Hun Misheng, the soul hall master, accused the intervening elder of also coveting the purifying demonic lotus flame. The aged voice replied evenly that his only purpose was to prevent the purifying demonic lotus flame from falling into the soul hall's hands. Then it spoke directly into Xiao Yan's soul. Leave. Now. A gentle yet irresistible force wrapped around Xiao Yan's soul, transforming it into a streak of light that crossed tens of thousands of miles in an instant, returning to his physical body. The moment his consciousness snapped back, Xiao Yan realized he was drenched in cold sweat. Far away, on a plain tens of thousands of miles distant, a cowherd riding a green ox, appearing no more than a 10-year-old child, slowly lifted his head and gazed toward the far northwest. In his clear eyes was a depth of wisdom that didn't belong to a child at all. He let out a sigh utterly mismatched with his youthful face and murmured that the emergence of the purifying demonic lotus flame would inevitably ignite an earth-shaking struggle. With a light flick of his ox whip, he urged the green ox onward and slowly vanished beyond the horizon.